Podziemski is probably the player that Kerr likes the most among the rookies selected by the Warriors in recent years. Even those drafted at higher positions did not receive the treatment like Podziemski in their first year. Moody at the same position has been benched for a long time. As for Clay's departure, one reason is that he is unwilling to be a substitute for the first-year player Podziemski. Many people think that the core reason why Podziemski is favored by Kerr is that he flatters. But is that really the case? In fact, if we watch enough Warriors games, we can find that. Podziemski is the only player after Clay who can become a stable combat force in the rookie season for the Warriors, which is something that other high-draft rookies of the Warriors cannot achieve. During this offseason, in the trade chips exposed for Markkanen, the Jazz general manager Ainge demanded not the more talented Kuminga, but instead Podziemski, who is disliked by many Warriors fans. From this, we can detect some problems. So, disregarding all off-court factors and only looking at the on-court ability, why is Podziemski so popular with Kerr? Last season, Podziemski played 74 games for the Warriors. In an average playing time of 26.6 minutes per game, he was able to achieve the statistics of 9.2 points, 5.8 rebounds, 3.7 assists, and 0.8 steals, and could make 1.2 three-pointers per game with a three-point shooting percentage of 38.5%. With his outstanding performance, Podziemski surpassed the Mavericks rookie Lively and was selected to the NBA rookie first team. Comprehensively considering attendance, statistics, plus-minus and court influence, this is already a performance that only a very outstanding rookie player can deliver. However, this is not the fundamental reason why Kerr likes him. In fact, what every head coach likes are players who can implement their tactical ideas and be immediately useful in their tactical systems. And the fundamental reason why Podziemski is so favored lies precisely here. In addition to his own ability, Podziemski showed a very high adaptability to the Warriors' passing and cutting system in his first season. His basketball IQ and the maturity of his playing style are completely unlike that of a newcomer. Let's make a detailed breakdown in terms of offense and defense next. First, let's look at the offensive end. Podziemski with the ball has above-average ball handling and dribbling skills. He can act as a point guard or wing to perform some offensive initiation tasks, be able to drive to the basket with the ball, shoot three-pointers while dribbling, play pick-and-rolls, and also score in one-on-one situations in a round. Although none of these skills are top-level, they are actually sufficient as weapons during the substitute period. This is the first point that matches the current situation of the Warriors. Speaking of this, we have to mention the state of the Warriors last season. Since the significant decline in the form of Wiggins and Clay, the team has never been able to find a second offensive initiator other than Curry. Their offensive initiations almost all revolve around Curry, who is already 36 years old. Under such circumstances, in addition to allowing Clay to hold the ball a lot to help the Warriors maintain some regular offensive developments, the remaining offensive tasks can only be attempted in turns by several newcomers. Kuminga and Podziemski have both become the selected players. Last season, Podziemski played many quite difficult offensive rounds. For example, in this play, Podziemski initiated a mismatch one-on-one when there was little time left in the offensive time. Facing the defensive Nurkic, he continuously dribbled to mobilize the defense and finally made a large step-back shot and scored. Meanwhile, compared to Kuminga who only plays one-on-one in ball possession offense, Podziemski is, after all, a point guard and he can also share some passing tasks for Curry. For example, when Paul and Green are not on the court, the Warriors usually let him be responsible for distributing the ball at the top of the arc. Podziemski did it very well, and it's naturally reasonable that he gains Kerr's favor. Of course, to be honest, as a first-year player, Podziemski's ball-holding ability is still limited after all. It's unrealistic to let him consume a large amount of the ball rights. The aspect where he is more compatible with the Warriors on the offensive end is still his off-ball attribute and his role as a utility player. First and foremost, Podziemski has a decent catch-and-shoot three-pointer. In the Warriors team, the off-ball three-point attribute is the most indispensable part of the tactical system for wings and guards. The Warriors' passing and cutting system can create a large number of catch-and-shoot three-point opportunities. As long as a player shoots three-pointers accurately enough, he can get playing time with the Warriors. For example, in the following round, Podziemski made an off-ball screen for the running Clay. The latter instantly took away two defenders, and Podziemski easily got an open shot opportunity outside the three-point line. Players who have a higher grasp of simple open opportunities like this will get more playing time. It is worth noting that in the above round, Podziemski's off-ball screen, that is, the so-called utility player attribute, is also another important reason why he can get opportunities. The following round, which can be regarded as a pure utility player round, is the best embodiment. Podziemski was initially standing at the weak side three-point line at the beginning of this offensive round. When he saw a teammate beside him and Curry's breakthrough route was on his side, he immediately made an off-ball screen for the teammate at the bottom corner and pointed to the teammate's position, indicating that Curry could pass in this direction. However, in this round, Curry ultimately chose to finish the attack by himself. And the moment he saw Curry shooting, Podziemski immediately moved to the basket to fight for the offensive rebound. I believe that by seeing this, everyone can more or less sense that, unlike other Warriors rookies, Podziemski completely understood the essence of the Warriors' tactics in his first year. He also had a very correct attitude as a utility player. He is very willing and good at making off-ball screens for his teammates and is a typical player who can play with the correct mindset. At the same time, Podziemski's off-ball attribute is not only reflected in three-pointers, but his off-ball cutting awareness is also very good. Like in the following round, Podziemski made a fake screen for Curry and then suddenly cut without the ball. The opponent's focus was completely on Curry and could only watch Podziemski score. Such rounds where the Warriors' tactics are well understood were very common this season. Let's take another round as an example. When Curry broke through, Podziemski keenly noticed that the opponent left him an open lane for cutting at the baseline. He immediately started on this unmanned runway, and Curry delivered the ball just in time. However, in this round, the opponent's help defense under the basket came very quickly, and Podziemski could only pass the ball to the teammate at the bottom corner again. At the same time, after seeing that the teammate was mobilized by the pass and the bottom corner was empty again, he resolutely ran to this position and made a catch-and-shoot three-pointer. In this round, Podziemski's cutting timing, his handling of the ball after encountering the supplementary defense, and his catch-and-shoot three-pointer at the bottom corner after perceiving the defense were smooth and flawless. This perfectly meets Kerr's requirements for players playing with Curry. You don't need to have a very strong ability to play one-on-one with the ball, but you must have the awareness to respond to Curry at any time, such as making off-ball screens or cutting without the ball using Curry's diversion. At the same time, when facing double teams or supplementary defenses, try not to force it. Know how to share the ball, and also have the awareness of off-ball movement and the ability to grasp open opportunities. Podziemski has all of the above. How could Kerr not like him? The above is about the offensive end. Objectively speaking, Podziemski's influence on the defensive end is relatively less prominent than that on the offensive end. His individual defense and team defense abilities are both ordinary, and sometimes he even becomes a loophole targeted by the opponent. But like what is shown on the offensive end, Podziemski is also very smart on the defensive end, and most of the time he is very active, especially in creating offensive fouls and competing for rebounds. First of all, in terms of rebounding ability, as a 193 cm guard, averaging nearly 6 rebounds per game itself has already proved how excellent this person's rebounding ability is. Even more exaggerated is that 1.6 of these rebounds are offensive rebounds, and this data ranks first among guard players in the league. Special emphasis should be placed on the fact that Hart from the Knicks team, who is famous for rebounding, averages 1.6 offensive rebounds per game as well. Unlike Hart, who relies on his impact and strong body to dominate the inside, Podziemski does not have such a good physical advantage, so he relies more on his enthusiasm and anticipation of the basketball's landing point. In addition to the rebounding ability, Podziemski also led the league in one data last season, that is, causing charging fouls. He can cause 0.5 charging offensive fouls per game on average, which is very exaggerated. This also reflects Podziemski's basketball IQ. He can predict the opponent's offensive route well and choose the defensive position reasonably at the same time. The same is true for his steals. Podziemski cannot achieve frontal steals like Leonard through defensive ability, but he has very precise control over the passing route, which also enabled him to get 0.8 steals per game in his rookie season. It can be seen that whether in offense or defense, Podziemski is a player who plays with his brain. He is a player with a sense of spacey on the court, knowing where he should be now and later and knowing how to play in the right way. This is precisely something more important than talent. A ready comparison is Podziemski and Wiseman. I believe many fans know the problems of former Warriors player Wiseman in pick-and-roll offense. During his several years with the Warriors, the team invested a lot of effort in him, but he still failed to develop pick-and-roll offense, and his screening awareness and screening quality did not improve much. However, in the first month of entering the league, Podziemski's off-ball screens for his teammates were already quite good. He learned what Wiseman hadn't learned in many years in a very short time, and his understanding of the Warriors' tactical system was several levels higher than Wiseman. This forms a great contrast to the comparison of the talents of the two. Wiseman was the second overall pick, with full dynamic and static talents, three-point shooting ability, and seemed to be a top talent who could reach the peak in this era. While Podziemski didn't even enter the lottery pick and the highest predicted draft position before the draft was outside the top 20. But such a player, in the cruel rookie competition of the Warriors, unexpectedly and indirectly defeated Wiseman with top talent. Even now, he is considered a more attractive bargaining chip than Kuminga. It has to be said that sometimes talent cannot determine your true height in the NBA. Of course, having said so much, although Podziemski has many advantages, he actually also has quite a few disadvantages, such as ordinary ball-holding offensive ability. The offensive efficiency is prone to decline easily after a large number of shots, and the defense is still relatively weak, etc. But for a rookie with such a strong learning ability, we can be a little patient with him. I believe he will also give us good feedback. I think Kerr must think so too, right?